She sat across from him at their favorite cafe, fingers curled around a steaming cup of chamomile tea. Her hands trembled slightly. He assumed it was just from the cool morning air. Her eyes, though, they had a strange, faraway calm in them. "I have a challenge for you," she said softly, almost as if testing the weight of her own words before letting them out into the world. He chuckled. "A challenge? You know, I never back down from those." She smiled faintly. "One day, 24 hours. No calls, no texts, no messages, just no contact at all. If you pass, I'll love you forever." He leaned back, pretending to think it over, but inside he was already confident. "That's it? No problem. You'll see how strong I am." She didn't laugh. Instead, she reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "Promise me, you'll take it seriously." "I promise." They finished breakfast, kissed goodbye, and went their separate ways. He didn't notice the way she lingered to watch him walk away, her eyes glistening. The first hour was easy. He kept himself busy with work, errands, and a workout at the gym. Every time he reached for his phone out of habit, he smiled, thinking of how proud she would be when he told her he had resisted. By mid-afternoon, the urge to send her a meme or a quick "miss you" text itched at him. But he shook it off. "It's just one day. Tomorrow, I'll make it up to her." Evening settled in. He went out with friends to distract himself, laughing and joking, feeling oddly proud of his self-control. At midnight, his phone lit up with notifications from social media, but not a single one from her. He assumed she was just as committed to the game as he was. "I did it, baby," he whispered to himself before going to bed. "Tomorrow I'll surprise you." He woke with a burst of energy, grabbing a bouquet of her favorite white lilies. He rehearsed how he would walk in and say, "I did it," while she laughed and pretended to be impressed. Her house wasn't far. The front door was slightly ajar, and as he stepped inside, he noticed an unfamiliar quiet. The living room was filled with people dressed in black. Their faces were pale, their eyes swollen from crying. He stopped cold. You must be her boyfriend," an older woman said gently, placing a trembling hand on his arm. He tried to ask what was happening, but his voice caught in his throat. Then he saw it at the center of the room, a polished wooden coffin. Inside her, she lay still, her face peaceful, her lips curved into the faintest smile. No, this isn't real," he choked out. His knees went weak. "I just saw her yesterday, she was fine." Someone whispered. She didn't want anyone to see her in pain. She passed last night. It felt like the air had been ripped from his lungs. He stumbled forward, his eyes locked on the coffin. On a small table beside it lay a folded piece of paper with his name, written in her delicate handwriting. His fingers shook as he picked it up and read. "You did it, baby. I'm so proud of you. Now, please do it every day." The words blurred as his vision swam with tears. Why didn't you tell me?" he whispered to the stillness around him. No one answered. A quiet sob escaped him as memories came rushing back, her laughter, her warmth, the way she used to trace shapes on his palm when they held hands. And then, flashes of yesterday, the empty day he had spent winning her challenge, while she was living her last moments, alone. It was then he noticed a folded letter tucked deeper inside the bouquet stand. He pulled it out, his hands trembling. "My love, I wanted you to remember me without the weight of my sickness in your eyes. Yesterday was my final gift to you, freedom from my pain. I didn't want our last day together to be about goodbyes. I wanted it to be about you living. Promise me you'll keep living, even without me." He clutched the paper to his chest, his breath hitching in broken gasps. The lily he had brought slipped from his hand and scattered on the floor. He realized, too late, that the challenge was never about proving he could go. Without her, it was about teaching him to keep going after she was gone. And now each day would be another day without her. Another challenge he never agreed to, but one he would have to face for the rest of his life. She watched him leave the cafe, his back straight, his stride easy, and she clung to the image like a lifeline. She didn't want his last memory of her to be frail and trembling. She wanted him to remember her smiling, teasing him with one final challenge. As soon as he disappeared around the corner, she exhaled a shaky breath. Her chest ached, not just from the sickness spreading through her, but from the weight of knowing she wouldn't see another sunrise with him. Back at her apartment, the silence was heavy. She sat on the couch, staring at her phone. Every muscle in her wanted to text him, to tell him she loved him, to hear his voice one last time. But she had promised herself she wouldn't. He needed to think the challenge was real because the truth would break him. The hours crawled. She tried reading, but her eyes blurred. She tried watching their favorite comedy show, but the laughter felt hollow without him beside her. She wandered to her bedroom and pulled out the box of keepsakes she had hidden away. Movie tickets from their first date, a seashell he had found for her on the beach, the handwritten note he'd left in her coat pocket on their first winter together. She traced her fingers over each one, letting the memories warm her as her body grew colder. By afternoon, the pain worsened. She pressed a pillow against her chest, breathing through it, tears slipping silently down her cheeks. She thought of calling him, telling him to forget the challenge and come over. But then she imagined the panic in his voice, the frantic rush to her side, the look in his eyes when he saw her like this. She couldn't let that be their ending. So instead, she picked up her pen. "You did it, baby. I'm so proud of you now. Please do it every day." It took her 3 tries to write the words neatly, her hands trembling. She tucked the note beside her bed, where she knew someone would find it. Night fell. She lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling, listening to her own slowing heartbeat. Somewhere in the city, he was probably laughing with friends, proud of himself for winning their little game. The thought made her smile faintly. She whispered into the quiet, "I love you. Forever." And then, with that image of him smiling and unburdened, she closed her eyes for the last time.